Very much, and thank you for everyone to be here today. You know, Carling Cup, if you really reflect on it, is about 4 groups of people. The 2 first most important are the people on stage that get to speak to these 2 great clubs, who I think we'll agree gave us a very good game of football, lots of excitement. The third people we have to thank is stadium management. I think they ran an incredible match day. We've had lots of people through here. Everyone's had a good time. It's been a celebration of soccer and a tribute to them. And finally, you know, a tribute to the members of the media. You're the 4th part of this partnership. Without your support from day 1 at that launch at Park Station to now, this campaign doesn't get the traction it does. And to your question, indeed, it has been a very successful Carling Cup campaign. We've had amazing partnerships with our clubs and a lot of activations that have taken place with legends throughout the season, or throughout this pre-season time. They've enjoyed it, the fans have enjoyed it. When it comes to game changers, I think we can agree that we've given the fans 4 very interesting developments. The starting lineups were selected and we saw them in action. The captain was selected, and that's a great validation for the people who selected as captain. Then the Twitter substitution, I think, worked quite well. The drama was still there. I really enjoyed that. And finally, the Twitter man of the match. I think we got to validate a man of the match selection that wasn't partisan, it was for who we thought was the best guy as collective fans in the day. So thank you very much, thank you for all the support. And finally, I know we're going to have a quick word with him, but also thank you for Mr. Ian Wright, who has been with us from the beginning. And just great to have somebody with that level of football knowledge and kudos in the game to share his thoughts and also help us make this campaign a success for the fans. Because that's what it's all about, eh? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grant. And
firstly, I'd just like to say thank you to Carling for inviting me out. It's an experience that I've wanted for a long time to see firstly for the fans to get the chance to change the game was something that was pretty cool to see, and they got their opportunity. But to watch 2 teams in pre-season and 90,000 fans all in harmony watching a game it's kind of new to me, because if that was in Europe, then you know you got people who, once the goals were scored, when they jumped up and cheered, they'd probably be ejected. Their fights would have started. And when I actually watched and seeing different pockets of Pirate fans celebrating, and you're seeing Chiefs fans sitting still, it was an experience for me that I've never seen. And so that's what I'd like to firstly thank Carling for. And again, you know, like I say, in respect of me as a fan player, for the fans to get something out of the game in respect of having something to say was really good to watch as well. So, you know, that's all I'd like to say on it. And like I say, congratulations to both teams. You know, obviously Pirates in particular, but it was great to be here, and I thank Carling again for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Coach. Let me just, firstly, from your side, Coach Tsietsi, just your experience being part of Kaizer Chiefs, being part of the derby, sitting in the dugout, speaking to the players. If you can share with us that experience, what has it been like?
Thanks, Gwena. I would like to first thank Carling and Kaizer Chiefs for giving me this opportunity. It was a great feeling. It's one in a lifetime, because as Tsietsi Benni McCarthy from Odendal's race, is new to me. Only seeing it on TV for the past 9 years up until now, 8 years up until now, it was a dream come true, and the one that I will never forget.
What would you say has been key in terms of the game to the result that we've seen?
What impacted the results that we saw today is that the 2 teams played well, I must say, especially in the first half. Pirates came and then we came to them, and we just couldn't make use of our chances. And we've got 2 chances before they could get 1, and they scored. We missed ours, and we continued playing well and missed another chances. I think taking chances was the key to this game.
Let me hand it over now to Coach Ernst Middendorp just to share with us the game itself, your reflection on the game and how the team played.
George Malolika, was injured. We had football sprints with maximum rest on Wednesday in the training session. 4 times 5, 4 times 10, 3 times 25. With the second last, he got a hamstring issue. We sent him for an ultrasound, and please excuse that is on such a short note because I got the information already that it was doubted why George is not on the field. Although very clear, I would have loved to see him on the field. He had a good pre-season so far, but please respect if somebody got an injury, if somebody is not available. I think let's take it like this. We had 15 minutes where I believe could have been definitely at least a 1, if not a 2-0. We had then a period of where the defensive line was not connected to the midfield line. We had a huge gap in between. We trained it the entire season. Unfortunately, players who came back from AFCON, players who trained only twice with a team, were not really in the same direction drilled and were not really sharp. Good, but we have to accept it. It's a voting, placing the players onto the field. I believe making mistakes, allowing the opponent to score is definitely something what happened. On the other side, as I said, we had our opportunities, but the biggest issue was to really be too casual, losing the ball, not pressurizing where we conceded the goal, and allowing the gaps between the defensive line and midfield line. I think that was a bit of a problem issue we tried to sort out, and I think we have sorted it out with the beginning of the second half. I don't think I will be the only one who would say it would have been possible to equalize with the performance a bit more closer to each other, less gaps in between, and certain moments where I thought it could have been done here and there a little bit different to be successful, to score at least the 2 or 3 needed goals. But okay, that's we are working on it, and I said it before. We still have certain habit with certain players, backwards. Yeah, we have seen in the first half, compliment to the referee, no doubt about it. 2 of our players out of the defensive line went forward, did the right step. 1 and 2 went back. This is definitely something where we try to unify ourselves. But for this, you need the training sessions and you need all the players available. I'm happy that these guys are now complete around, and good, we have 6-7 days time now to sort it out, what we have seen. We know we have certain players still available who probably will be what we have seen in training, will be first 11 soon, probably even next weekend. Let's see. It's definitely a heated week, there's no doubt about it. Expectations are starting to cooking. That's clear. That's definitely what's coming along with being as a player, as a coach, as a technical team, and with a huge amount of supporters as Kaizer Chiefs going in, starting the season next Sunday. We are aware about it. We need results, and that is what we definitely must do. We have a good cohesion. We have had a very challenging 4 weeks preparing ourselves with a totally different way of organizing a pre-season. The response was fantastic, and I believe it will help us definitely starting the season and over the long-lasting season for sure.
And
compliment to,
yeah,
of course, Orlando Pirates winning, scoring the needed goals. Compliment to the win to each and everybody, technical team, and of course the players from Orlando Pirates. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Coach Ernst Middendorp, with Orlando Pirates, the winning team, and of course start with the champion coach, Coach Kagiso. KG, how are you feeling today?
I'm good, thanks, Anderson.
Right. Share with us your experience being part of the team. I mean, going through the process of being selected and finally sitting on the bench, sharing ideas with the coach, and eventually winning the match. Just briefly, if you can, just share with us what the experience has been like for you.
Thank you, Koina, and good evening to everybody. Yeah, I entered this competition in 2017, and I failed. I wasn't even on the top 4. So 2018, there wasn't Carling Cup. It was a World Cup. So 2019, when Carling Cup was launched in Park Station, I saw it on Twitter, on Orlando Pirates page. And I waited for the USSD to be opened. And the unique codes were there all over the nation. When you go to Kimberley, all over the nation in South Africa. So I started collecting it, buying Carling Black Label. I SMS'd. And a national radio station called me, and they asked me a few questions that there was new innovation that Carling has introduced, the game changer. They asked me about the rolling substitute. What is a rolling substitute? And it was 12 of us, and the radio DJ picked me. And after picking me, Pomozo Manenza from Orlando Pirates called me. Again, he asked me questions about the Orlando Pirates and Carling. I had to answer that questions. I answered the questions right, and he congratulated me, said, "You are one of the finalists of Orlando Pirates, so you must be ready for next week, Friday." And they booked me a flight. Yeah.
From where?
From the Free State, from
Okay.
Bloemfontein to OR Tambo.
Yeah.
They booked me a flight, and my flight was delayed. Because it was windy in the Free State last week Friday. So I had to wait. And when I arrived at the airport, there was a guy holding like Kagiso Moleme,
Yeah, with your name.
and he was with the other guy that I competed with on the other radio national station. And the guy asked me, "Ntatwaka, are you Orlando Pirates fan?" I said, "Yes." And the guy told me straight right into my face, "You are wasting your time. You have wasted these people money to book your flight from the Free State to here because I'm going to be a champion coach." I said, "Okay, it's fine." And we slept over Friday at the hotel. Then Saturday,
Fast track.
yes,
Fast track. Fast track to.
I was the first finalist to open for Orlando Pirates pre-talk, and it was done by you, Tate Kwena. And you asked me questions. The judge was Mayor Thandi Merafi, and Chief Nkoko and Pomozo Manenze, and the auditors were there also. I don't know how did I do in that pre-match, but I had confidence. The guy came over to me again. What you go? You said you are going to be a champion coach. Let's wait.
All right, KG, I'm going to cut you short because it looks like we have gone into extra time now. But it's just brief. Match day experience. Just the experience here today, KG.
Yesterday, I met the players for the first time.
Today, KG.
Okay, today,
Match day, KG.
today, to be honest,
Yeah.
when the bus approached the stadium, today,
Man, it's
talking
gonna
about
tell
today,
us. Yes.
yeah, I was a bit nervous, but Coach Micho told me that, KJ, relax, have fun. The players also told me, "Nee, relax, boy. We are going to do this with our new jersey. And yeah.
That was brief, KG. Coach, talk to us about today, Coach Micho, and what happened during the match. Just your reflections, Coach Micho.
Okay, first of all, the highest degree of respect to my dear colleague, to opponent's champion coach, to our champion coach. This derby is a treasure of South African football. We have enormous respect to our opponents. This is the day when South Africa stands still. And great work by Carling Black Label has come to and test for us. We are 5 weeks in pre-season. This has been a bridge towards a competitive season ahead of us, starting with PSL. We have worked throughout the week with the same problems like here present dear colleague, same like in big teams after World Cup last year, that they had problems reintegrating players from the big competition. Even us, we have problems, and I fully understand the respected coach and his problems of people coming from the AFCON. We integrated them, prepared them as usual for the derby, and I would just say that it will be a very big problem for us if we are in top competitive form now, even before season starts. So we would look at, because entering in the match, we know that we have gone against very good settled tactically team, that we have countered, looking to close their strong points and to expose their weak points. In that regard, we have been, I want to say, more effective in scoring the goals. On the other side, let us be sincere and put the hand on our hearts that in few occasions it was lady luck on our side, but luck is following those that are courageous. We have really courageously defended and succeeded to have that clean sheet. With result of 2-0, we had an instruction that with possessing the ball, we are trying to bring the game to end. However, with coach introducing so much attacking options with Nurkovic, and we are having other strikers that they have come inside, Leonardo Castro. Opponent, we have subconsciously dropped back and allowing opponent to have domination. Succeeded to go through that storm. We need now critically to look at the things that they have been wrong, to improve them in days ahead of us starting the league. What was okay from the point of scoring, to keep it up in any way. Winning is the only way how you inject confidence in your team. But in the same moment, we shall not be carried away, we shall not fly over the sky, and we shall critically look at the things that we have not been satisfied, so that in days ahead of us, we are rushing to catch proper competitive form.
Thank you, Coach. I'm going to open the...
And from kickoff, Coach Micho, just your thoughts on Justice being voted in and giving a performance like he did today. What were your thoughts? Has he established himself amongst your plans for the season ahead? And Coach Middendorp, you started without the left back, finished without the left back. Was there something you saw that you could perhaps use in Lorenzo playing on the left side of defence? And then just Bernard Parker also played. I think he was playing wing back in the first half. Were you impressed with that?
Okay, Coach Micho, you can go first, and Coach Ernst, and I'll take a few more questions. I've noticed and recognized a few hands.
When we talk about Justice Chabalala, when you look from the point of human qualities and reality, knowing that so many teams have looked for him, but he has shown an enormous amount of loyalty to the team. He has always been a generator of positive energy in the team. Voted by supporters is not by accident. Supporters have recognized big heart of the player from Guyana, and he needed a personal management in preparing this match, but having in mind on 27th of October 2017, he played his first derby. It was like his second, and in any way, we are extremely happy as a technical team, happy with the players that they have in any way helped him to practically adapt, adjust, and acclimatize to the game, to the challenges that this game is bringing, because it is making or breaking. And he has knocked on the door, but in the same moment, we have no right to judge one game as a finished product. Many more games of this magnitude. I hope he was supposed to be called also for the Chan. That many more matches with us, possibly with the Chan team, could help him to gain the confidence, because there are many months since he has not played, and coming today with parachute to the match of this magnitude, we are extremely happy and proud of him and his performance today.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Ernst. There was a left back.
There was no left back voted. I had to go and find solution, and I think Bernard Parker did very well to find the gaps and to find the pockets to be influential.
Okay.
You could have brought one on yourself as well in the second half. Substitution, you didn't bring on the left back yourself.
I think Lorenzo Gordinho have done a good job. We had to change the right back in the first half. That's a decision to leave Lorenzo Gordinho in this role, and he hasn't done it first time, he did it before. Knowing, and now there come, of course, our what we see in the moment with a player like Ntia, who got quite stressed over the 4 weeks, with Happy Marciane totally not prepared after being out with a broken bone for 6 months. Sorry, it is not advisable. It's not advisable to bring young guys, if you see it in training over the weeks, to bring them in. You have to find other solutions. That's our responsibility we have to provide.
Thank you, Coach. Okay.
Baxter. Both coaches, just from a football value perspective, a pre-season friendly you would ordinarily think is something where coaches try to test their combinations. And I think it presents challenges when you have a friendly that you have your team selected for you. I understand the value financially for both teams of this competition, but in terms of football value, even for me, Ernst, to ask you, Chiefs had a difficult first half and looked a bit undercooked, but those weren't the combinations that you selected, so it's difficult. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So basically, I mean, just the football value that this competition brings to South African football and to this Soweto derby, which seems to be corporately hijacked for the purposes of bringing financial value.
Coach? Okay.
As a person that has passed so many things, passing so many countries, this is a unique opportunity where His Excellency supporter, because football is played for them, you have just heard here a passionate story what it means is like a film watching in front of yourself, hearing the words. As ambassador of supporters, we have seen, and this could serve us as on one side, out of football, to value more supporters as spiritual owners of our respective teams and over the history and whatever, because without supporters we would not exist ourselves. Therefore, I would say from a football point, it's not easy someone else to select, and then you are having huge problem in balancing the team, because supporters always look at an over-attacking mode and mood. And for us, I would just say that this match has reached in time where we have similar problems like our colleagues. This is why 2 more friendly matches we shall play before starting the league, in order to find the right formula, so that something, because all these players have been voted based on their performance of last year. Nobody has not seen them in between, that someone can attract the attention of supporters. Therefore, I would just say we have honored respectfully this cup, but in the same moment, all of us, we are looking much more towards the league, and to catch the right competitive form, to have the right combinations. We needed to pass this bridge that went this time in respect to supporters, in respect to this treasured derby of the world football.
Coach Ernst, a word from you.
Compliment to Carling, and I believe they should keep going, looking for game changer again. I can give you some examples where a game changer probably would be useful. Otherwise, it's a fantastic situation. It's a fantastic event. That's it. Otherwise, I think Micho said it. We have the totally identity regarding the opinion about it. But good, players had an opportunity to play. Players who probably were not used so much. So now we have to look into it and how far we can use them looking forward.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take one question from the back and I'll come.
My name is Nitzeli. I'm from Micho's News. My question is for Coach Middendorp. First half, most of your players were in all sorts of problems. They look rusty, unfit, and drunk with fatigue. Now, my question is, what was your ultimate game plan? And question 2, did you have a fruitful preseason camp? Thank you.
Okay. Did you get that, Coach Ernst?
Thanks for this very aggressive statement. Let's be clear about it. What we have seen in this pre-season over 4 weeks with the camp, if you give the responsibility to me, we would have probably a high number of players differently on the field. As I said, it's just something, how do you, I'll put the question back, how do you solve this if certain players coming back from AFCON in the defensive, and 3 out of 4, 5 in the defensive line train twice with a team and have to play on this magnitude? I think that's a certain issue. How you use the word in a way to describe it, I think I cannot confirm and use these words that we are not happy with certain directions. I think I fully agree. But again, you put now a stone into my direction and saying I'm in charge for this selection, for this putting together. It's not. I'm very happy for all the players who were on the field. I fully respect it, but I was aware about it. We could have, and please approach me next time before the game, then I can tell you already what can you expect.
Okay, thank you.
It's Robin Chukmatara from Telesun. Coach, my question to Ernst. Coach, signing players who have 4 players who have no personal experience, you have played abroad like before they were signed by the club. How sure are you that you'll improve next season?
Okay.
Based on what happened last season, yes.
I said it several times, and it's not about the new players. It's about the players who were not available in the final 5-6 months of the season. Let's start with Itukuna. I think Itukuna last year in January, not receiving this injury, probably the best goalkeeper in the country, would be in a different story. Go to Eric Matoro, out for 4.5 months. We have tried to bring him back into it. And we can go with Lebogang Manyama, we can go with Rama, we can go with other players who haven't been available. Ngobo, Epi Mashiana. The more important, to use proper words, the more important for us is to bring these players, Itukuna, as quick as possible. To bring back Eric Matoro, this type of games are very important for him. Lebogang, a very important player. Epi Mashiana, refreshing. Ngobo, refreshing what we have seen. And this is more than less something we have to work on the highest level to get them to the maximum of their capacity. And then, of course, you bring players in, not in big numbers, but in a certain quality we were looking for to contribute, have no handicap, not coming out of the dustbins from other clubs. And I think actually this in combination, having now and what we see in the moment, Eric is doing really well after 4.5 months, not in a process at all with this huge injury. Rama unfortunately got a little bit carried away with going to AFCON camp. I would have loved to see him through the entire 4 weeks pre-season. We know all Reef. Reef was in Bidwest when we brought him in January. I thought it was a bit more possible, but in the end, as I said already, he was not used to the pace from the training session, and I think he came in today and did really a good contribution. But there was another player we were hoping that he would contribute in the last season. He didn't. He couldn't for certain reason. And all this in a combination will make it happen, that the team should be much, much better performing and bringing in the results.
Thank you. Okay, well, yeah.
Colin, Northwest
Last two will
FM.
come from that side, yeah.
Colin Hans from Northwest FM. This question is to Ian Wright. Ian,
Okay.
if you experience our football for some time now, 4 seasons and all that, we've been celebrating 15 goals or 16 goals as top goal scorers of the season, as compared to the real football of Europe and all that, whereas target men, I mean it's a fact, target men, and you find that our forwards are actually consumed into middle field.
Okay.
And we don't have targets men where we say, we know this guy can bang 3 to 4 goals in a game. I just want to find out how best can we enhance that situation where we can have real forwards playing as forwards.
Okay.
I think, firstly, in respect of striking, I don't think you should ever talk down about trying to score goals. It's difficult to score goals in any league.
Ian, do you mind facing the camera?
Sorry, everybody.
Sorry,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I just can't. I think it's very difficult to score goals in any league, and it's funny because me and my manager was talking, and I was thinking that in respect of chances created, for me, even watching this game today, I actually thought the pitch needed water. I thought the way the teams both wanted to play, they wanted to get the ball through quicker, and me as a striker, I'd want the ball to get to the midfield quick so it can slip through. I thought the ball held up a lot today. I don't think that's answering his question, but in respects of trying to find forwards, it's very difficult, and sometimes it comes in waves. And what you've got to do is you've got to make sure that, for me, you know, watching the game today, I saw a lot of players who could probably have maybe fed me, and that's all it comes down to. It comes down to how much you want to practice in respect of your own finishing. I finished every day after training, 25 penalties at least. Finish left foot, finish right foot. Speak to the midfield players. Find out what midfield player does want to look up and get the ball to me as soon as he can. You've got to make sure that you're trying to make it. There's so much that goes into it. To just plainly say that the guys are not scoring enough goals, it's a quite damning thing to say, personally. Because like I say, it comes down to how much you personally want to work on yourself, how much you want to make sure that you hit the target. I concentrated on hitting the target even in training. Even in training, even if I was walking past the goal and it was empty, I'd make sure the ball goes into the goal. I never messed around at any stage to miss any target. Now, those are the kind of things that you have to want to do yourself. So that when you get a chance in games, you're trying to do the very, very best you can with a half chance. Those things come. I could talk about Benni McCarthy. Benni McCarthy was somebody that when I left Arsenal, I said to Arsenal, get Benni McCarthy. Because Benni McCarthy is one of the best finishers that I've seen in and around that time. You know, so it's not something that you all of a sudden stop producing, got players that can score goals. It's up to the players themselves to want to get better, watch the best, see with the midfield players you've got around you. Then it's up to the coaches to make sure that they can get the ball into areas where forwards can start to get more chances and score more goals. You know, I don't think I can say any more.
Thank you.
Can I say, Coach, honestly, the way you deal with some of these questions, man, this is why I couldn't be a coach.
There's one here, and then we'll finish with that one upstairs.
Thank you. It's about Tawani from ENCA to both coaches. Maybe if I start with Coach Ernst, your thoughts on the performance of some of your new players who played. They played in front of a sellout crowd. Do you think they handled themselves according to how you expected? And second question is, are you able to give us an indication on the extent of Itumeleng Khunya's injury in terms of the length of when he's going to be out? To Coach Micho, how important was this win today moving into the new season? I mean, we know the story in terms of what is expected from Orlando Pirates after 2 years of building now. I mean, winning cups and all those things. Thank you.
Okay. Coach Ernst?
Yeah, we have been very clear, and the medical side confirmed it 2 days ago, that Ito will definitely be available in August for selection. We have to look in now how far from the training side we can bring him into the area that he feels comfortable, that we have to prepare him. And this is a decision, an experienced goalkeeper on this level, in cooperation with goalkeeper coach Lee Baxter. We have to decide. We have to find out, is it in 2 weeks, is it in 3 weeks, but definitely August he will be available. I'm quite sure. He looks very good, very impressive. I haven't really seen it before, but an outstanding contribution during our camp, where we, by the way, worked hard from in the morning 8 o'clock till 7:30 every day. There was no day off. There was not half a day off, on the field, off the field, and I think I have seen an outstanding contribution from Ito Kune. And I'm very, very happy that he can be part of the team regularly soon. That is an outstanding contribution we have seen, and we will expect to see in the games when he is in. Let's take Lazarus Kambole. He played, we started on end of June. He was with Zambia COSAFA Cup. He was with the club Tesco United, still involved in cup competition, semi-final, quarter-final, of course, before, and the final, more than less. He had 1 week rest. What we are not to, of course, do during the time is, to use a proper word, we look into the individual tolerance of loading, how far. We have taken him several times out, several days out, just to make sure that he is recovered, to make sure that he will be adequate. This is an example. I'm very happy that he didn't get an injury. Under normal circumstances, Lazarus Kambole would not have been on the field. I'm very happy that he managed so far himself, not getting injured, not because there is a certain element of fatigue still existent with him. The same. Let's be honest, the same as Kama Belia. Kama played 18th of May, 20th of May he was in a camp with Zimbabwe playing COSAFA. Then from there, straight away, they went to camp preparing the AFCON. Then he jumped into the competition with Zimbabwe in Egypt. We have taken him out some days, and now it's the third year where Kama Billiard did more than less the same procedure, the same COSAFA, the same whatever Zimbabwe was asking for, and that's not healthy for no player who has entered the professional level at all. And good, we have some other players. In 15 days, James Kotek played in Tanzania with Simba SC. In 15 days, he played 10 games. He came here, I would say, I don't want to use the words, but he looked very, very fatigued. He looked very scrambled in a way. You have to take responsibility, and that is what we are doing. If he needs 2 or 3 weeks more, it's fine. Other players will take over, and we have the squad that we can put a productive formation into place.
Okay, Coach Micho. Sorry,
from
buddy.
our side, I would just tell
the last one is on the other side.
we have recruited players that have been missing in the puzzle of our mosaic. Fact that they have come with similar problems, like Coach has mentioned just here, I would just say that still they need to work in order to adjust, acclimatize to our game model. They could not just come and simply walk into the team. They are the players that they have earned something, deserved, and others still they need to work very hard in order to understand the game model before entering and fighting for the team. Importantly, they have increased the numbers of players fighting for each position. From the point of winning, I would just tell, realistically, looking at the match and emotions, sometimes you can win, but there are so many critical things that are not making you happy. I'm only happy for our supporters because they have been selectors, they had their ambassador coach here. Supporters have won today. For us, same like it has passed 1 month ago, this match, we are not thinking anything about it. In the morning we are having already action where we are looking for the team that will open the PSL next Saturdays. Therefore, in football is very good because only with winning you can inject your team with confidence. And result is the only what we are remembering today.
Okay, just last question.
Coach.